What happens when the world realize that you are a blind person? How do they treat you? That's coming up in this episode of Money is Blind podcast. Hey guys, welcome back. I am your host Prasoon. So, I've been thinking about this topic for a while now. What do the world think about blind persons? I know what you might be thinking in your head because all of us have experienced it in one point of our life or the other. Sometimes it could be in your home, and most persons get a slap on their face when they try to get a job, when they try to attend a job interview. So it doesn't work that way. I don't believe in becoming an employee and getting a paycheck every month, then the next month, and then the next, and living based on that single paycheck. I don't believe in that. That is why I created multiple businesses. I want to be the employer. Even if it is a small company, even if it is a small business, I want to be an entrepreneur. And that's exactly what I did, and that's exactly what I teach in this podcast. So according to a study, in most countries, if there are like 100 blind persons in a country, in a population, less than 10% of that population, less than 10 out of 100 blind persons in that community will have a full-time job. Think about it. This is the figure in most countries. Now when it comes to developed countries like the United States, this number can go up to 18-20% and not more than that. Just think about it for a second. So what are the other blind persons doing? They are sitting in their home, wasting their life, wasting their time, thinking that they are capable of doing nothing. Because the world around them thinks so, and they silently agree to it. But nobody cares. Politicians don't care about us. The government, they think they are doing enough for the blind community. I have a job. I have a full-time job, but that is not the main source of income that I have. When I became an entrepreneur, I decided that I wanted to create multiple streams of income, and that's exactly what I did by building multiple businesses. I have even resigned from my full-time job. I realized that I was one of the few lucky blind persons to have a job, because most persons don't. Most blind persons find it impossible to find a job. But I was lucky enough to have a job which was paying decent salary, and still I didn't want to continue with it. And I submitted a resignation letter. That's exactly what I did. My family didn't want me to do that. My friends didn't want me to do that. But I took that decision. So what happens when a blind person tries to find a job? It could either go in one of the two ways. You can either disclose that you are blind, that you are visually impaired, and in that case, the employer, the job interviewer, might not even call you for the interview. You can save a lot of time. Or the second option, you can hide it. You can go to the interview, pretend that you are a normal visually sighted person, and then the interviewer figured out that you have some vision problem, that you are blind or visually impaired, and then you lose the job. They never call you back. We blind persons live in a world which is not designed for us. This world is based on vision. It is for sighted persons. That is why a whole new industry, a whole new sector comes into light when it comes to blindness. And that industry is called accessibility. There are multiple companies which works on accessibility. Think about it. I can Cite a few examples like JAWS, NVDA, non-visual desktop access, Nuance. Nuance was recently acquired by Microsoft. There are multiple businesses which runs on accessibility. The latest one, you might have heard about this, Arkham. The world does not realize that we blind or visually impaired persons are differently able. We have difficulty in seeing things, but they don't try to understand what our skills are. Of course, you will be able to do a job from 9 to 5, but is that what you really want? Or do you want to make some changes in your life and then in the lives of other persons? Provide them some value. If your answer is yes to the second question, then you should definitely hop onto the entrepreneurial wagon. It is going to be a roller coaster ride, but it's going to be adventurous, fun, challenging, but you will learn a heck lot than what you have ever learned in your school. Blind persons are uniquely gifted with this creative problem solving skill. We need to figure out a way to get things done. Sighted persons can dismiss these tasks. No, they don't even consider it as tasks, but in order to pick out a particular color dress from the wardrobe, you will have to install an app, Be My Eyes, and ask a person if there is no one in your home to help you out. Of course, there is a way, and we do definitely find a way to do the task, but it takes time. And sighted persons doesn't know about us. They think we are capable of nothing. At least that's what most of them think. Not all of them. Most blind persons or visually impaired persons who are sitting idle in their home, they have the skill to think outside the box, to do their tasks independently. And that's the skill which is needed for an entrepreneur as well. These are common skills which an entrepreneur needs, but not for your routine day-to-day daily tasks at home, to provide value to other persons. Find out a problem which other persons have and then try to try to create a solution for that problem, and you're done. Build a business around it and you will become a successful entrepreneur. Wealth will come to you in abundance. That's what Napoleon Hill said in his book Think and Grow Rich. If you consider hacking as a scientific term, if you get excited when you hear the word hacking, and if you are someone who searches on Google for productivity hacks or money making hacks, then you should realize this: visually impaired persons are original, perfect life hackers, because we have that skill built in our DNA. Because sighted persons don't need to think like that. They don't have to think about solving problems all the time, because they don't have problems all the time. But whenever we open our eyes, it's a problem. Whenever we want a task to be completed, like crossing the road, or to get to office, or to go for grocery shopping, to pick up a dress from the wardrobe, to play with your child, everything is a challenge, a problem that you can fix. You would have fixed it. You sorted out a way that you can do it. And that is creative thinking, problem solving. These are skills that you have inside your head, but you are not using it for the right tasks. There is this story which I have seen in one of the videos in YouTube. Visually impaired persons, for them, thinking outside the box is ordinary. For sighted persons, thinking outside the box is extraordinary. The story is like you might have heard about cruise control, right? It is a feature which comes in most cars these days. So, if you don't know driving, you might not have heard about it. But cruise control lets you take the foot off the gas pedal, the accelerator, keep it rested, and the car will go at a certain speed which is set by the computer, the chip inside the car. And this feature was it was invented by a blind person. He did it for his friend who had this jerky foot and he was facing problems while driving. So this blind mechanical engineer, he thinks up of an automatic way to control the speed of the car, and cruise control was born. And now it is common in most of the cars. That is another reason why I am planning to recruit more blind persons into my companies, into my businesses. Dr. Bhavesh Bhatia has done it. He is the owner and chairman of Sunrise Candles, a candle making factory based in India, and is one of the wealthiest in Mumbai, Maharashtra. And he employs almost like 3,400 visually impaired persons in India, training them, giving them employment. He's like a mentor for me. And I talked about him in one of the episodes. You can find that episode by visiting www.moneyisblind.com and just search Dr. Bhavesh, Bhavesh, to find more about him. So these skills that I have been talking about, creative problem solving and thinking outside the box, these are the skills which are required for every startup, every business. And yet, most blind persons who have this skill as one of their inherent skills, they get denied when they appear for a job interview. And that's exactly why I am trying to motivate you to become employers instead of employees. If you don't get a job, heck with it, go heck with it. Just leave it aside. Jump over that hurdle. Create your own business and hire other blind persons who can run the business for you. If you have the right mindset, you can do it. I know you can do it. Why do people behave like that when it comes to blind persons? Maybe they are not comfortable with blind persons, or maybe they are not comfortable with blindness as such. I was not comfortable with saying the blind word, but now I do it every day because the name of the podcast, the name of the website is Money is Blind. That was intentional from my side, yes. I wanted to make myself comfortable with the word blind, and I want you guys to say it aloud. Because being blind is not your fault, it's not your mistake. And if sighted persons are listening to this episode, you should realize that you should also be comfortable with blindness and blind persons also. Because when they become uncomfortable with blindness, they become uncomfortable. They don't want to deal with blind persons. And that is one reason why they consider blind persons as incompetent. And another reason why I wanted to create multiple successful businesses is to prove them wrong. I wanted to show them I can do things. I can achieve what sighted persons can't achieve. Because I have a mind, I have a body, I have a brain and other organs which are functioning, which I can use. I have inherent skills that I can use to achieve the success that I desire. So these are the things that I wanted to share in this episode. Don't consider yourself as broken. Don't consider yourself as incapable of achieving success. You have to believe in yourself, you have to believe in your skills, and only then success will come to you, wealth will find you, and you become famous or popular. You will achieve your desires, become successful. If that's what you really want, you will find out a way to reach there, because that skill that is floating in your blood, my friend. On that note, I am signing off. Talk to you guys in another episode. Take care. Bye.